wabarakatuh. My name is Nabela. I'm from International Business Administration Study Program, Semester 6A. I would like to present about project management. First, project definitions. There are many definitions for what constitutes a project. Some of these definitions describe the nature of a project and how it differs from other types of work. The Project Management Institute, or PMI, defines the project as a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. And then, definitions of project management. Project management is the planning, implementing, and monitoring of project activities to meet project objectives achieved by effectively controlling and balancing the constraints of time, cost, and scope in producing quality deliverables that meet or exceed the expectations of the project stakeholders. And then project scope management. Scope is the descriptions of the boundaries of the project. It defines what the project will deliver and what it will not deliver. The purpose of scope change management is to protect the viability of the approved project contract for agreement and the proof project logical firm or log firm. Scope management consists of a series of tasks and steps designed to help the project manager manage the project deliverable. The steps are plan, define project scope, boundaries, assumptions, constraints, and criteria for success. Do, assign work to people. Check, verify work accomplished, and adapt, updating the scope from authorized change. Organizations of project team structure. A project team is an organized group of people who are involved in performing shared or individual tasks of the project as well as achieving in shared or individual goals and objectives for the purpose of completing the project and producing its result. The four types of project organizational structure. First, functional. In the functional organizational structure, projects are initiated and executed by the divisional managers who assume the project manager, that is, in addition to their regular functional roles. In the structure, project managers usually don't have a lot of authority to obtain resources or to manage schedules and budgets. Second, project-oriented. Project managers are usually full-time in the role, and for small projects, they might manage several projects at once. In this structure, project managers usually have a great deal of independence and authority. Third, metrics. Metrics organizations fall somewhere between functional structure and project-oriented. In the typical metric structure, a project manager is assigned from within one of the functional departments in either a part-time or full-time capacity. Fourth, composite. Functional organizations and project-oriented organizations are at opposite ends of the spectrum, and metric organizations fall somewhere in between. But it is possible to utilize both structure at the same time. It's called composite structure. This occurs when a project structure and a functional structure both report to the central executive. And then it is about estimate, planning, and control activity in project management. First, estimating. Project estimations technique help project managers accurately estimate essential elements such as cost and scope within their projects. There are six key areas of a project that benefit from the use of project estimating techniques: cost, time, scope, risk, resources, and quality. And then planning. The purpose of the project planning phase is to establish business requirements, establish costs, schedules, list of deliverables and delivery dates, establish resources plans, obtains management approval, and proceed to the next phase. Last, monitoring and control activity. The main purpose of monitoring and controlling activities is to be proactive in finding issues ahead of time and taking corrective action. Network analysis. Network analysis helps the manager to calculate the durations and identify critical activities in a project. Critical activities are those activities which determine the overall durations of the project. The network analysis methods are used in project management where the elements are key activities of the project in the mutual time relations. Among basic network analysis methods include critical path method or CPM. Critical path method or CPM is one of the basic deterministic methods of the network analysis. Its aim is to determine the durations of the project based on the critical path length. which is a sequence of interdependent activities with the least flaw. And then two critical chain methods are CCM. CCM or critical chain method is a network analysis technique which follows the critical path method or CPM and also includes accessibility and availability of resources. From the method is derived a branch of project management called critical change project management or CCPM. In particular, CCM methods is used within the project management and in the fields of logistics and transportation. And last, PERT or PERT method, Program Unit Evaluations and Review Techniques. PERT or Program Evaluations and Review Techniques is one of the standard methods of network analysis. The aim of the PERT model is such an arrangement of activities that would ensure a compliance with the deadline of the project with sufficiently high probability. And last, advantage and limitations of network analysis approach. One of the obvious advantages in doing network analysis is that very complex and incomprehensible amounts of connections can be made clear and structured. And one of limitation is we take limitation of CPM. A major limitation of CPM is that being activity based, it does not allow you to track people or resources independently of these activities. Okay, that's all about this topic, project management. Here's a video related to the topic. The title is IBM E2E Project Management Chronos.
In this short video, our intention is to provide you with an overview of the end-to-end process of how to manage projects in our center using Chronos. The first question that probably springs to your mind is, why do we need a process for managing projects? The simple answer is, projects are investments that need to be managed accordingly. Project management is a complex and highly valued skill. It is not as straightforward as it looks. The process serves three high-level purposes: providing control for the business, enabling you to successfully deliver the project, and developing your project management skills. A typical project starts with an idea and ends with the realization of that idea. Projects are divided into four phases: initiation, planning, execution, and closing. In our case, we refer to the initiation phase as the business case phase. Let's start with this business case. In this phase, your idea is captured in a structured way. Why should you create a business case, you might ask? Well, all projects involve spending money. Remember, a project is an investment, a piece of work that the business has decided to invest in. And with every investment, a return is expected. The business case is simply where you describe why the business should invest in your idea. Next up is the planning phase. This is where you plan out how you and your project team will deliver the benefits described in the business case. Projects are planned work. Projects fail because nobody stops them from failing. The role of the project leader is to stop the project from failing. How do you stop the project from failing? 3 key steps to follow. 1. Learn what usually goes wrong. 2. Plan out how to deal with it. And lastly, follow your plan. As the person leading the project, the business has chosen to invest in you to deliver it. Your plan will determine your success or failure. Moving on, in the execution phase, your team starts to work on your project according to your plan. As the project leader, your role now focuses on controlling the work in line with your plan. And then lastly, the closing phase, in which the project is summarized, documented, and closed off. This is where you show the business the return they got from their investment in both you and the project. We've seen the phases, now back to the process. There are 3 mandatory control points in this process. Firstly, at the end of the business case phase, the second after the planning phase, and the last one right before the close of the project. At each of these control points, the project sponsor is required to approve in order to proceed to the next phase. The approval is captured in Chronos, key stakeholders are automatically notified. The control points act to pause the project for a moment and ask the following questions. Is it worth investing in the project? Will the plan deliver the desired outcome? And can the project be closed? This is the opportunity for your sponsor to confirm you're on the right track. Chronos can be downloaded from the project's community page, where anyone can start to capture their idea in a structured way. After that, Chronos is sent to the project sponsor for approval. If yes, and the business case is approved, you start planning your project. After the plan is complete, your sponsor approves it again. If the plan gets approved, the project can move to the execution phase and your team starts work. And lastly, before the project can be closed, the final approval from the sponsor is required. Remember, if you have any questions, there are dedicated project managers in the transformation team that both build Kronos and the governance described here, and are happy to assist you through any part of your project. Good luck with your idea.
That's all about project management for me. Thank you for lending me your eyes and mine. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.